American History X portrays the reality of the white supremacist groups in the US in the 1990s. It is able to show their historical context, focusing on the Venice Beach movement of LA and the California neo-Nazi organizations. Nevertheless, it also displays the reality and the context of its members. As stated by Frank Mink, one of the most common skinheads in America, American History X is every skinhead's story to some extent. Most of them are young white males with tattoos that resemble Nazi symbols such as the swastika or HH meaning Heil Hitler, living in rooms full of posters that praise Hitler and the Nazis, and listening to a particular type of white supremacy music. Also, most of them, for one reason or another, have untreated hate that is exploited by the leaders of these organizations. For example, it is seen how Cameron Alexander, a leader of the DOZ, uses the hate that Derek has against the black man that killed his father to convince him to join the group.
Who do you hate, Danny?
I hate anyone that isn't white Protestant.
Why?
They're a burden to the advancement of the white race. Some of them are alright, I guess.
None of them are f***ing all right, Danny, okay? They're all a bunch of f***ing freeloaders. Remember what Cam said? We don't know them, we don't want to know them. They're the f***ing enemy.
In a few words, the movie is able to show the reality of the contexts of these bands and its members and permits the viewer to understand their existence and their situation. American History X narrative can be divided between the flashbacks, the past life of Derek, represented in black and white images, and the present, after Derek has left the jail and is now against the neo-Nazis, represented by color images.
Yeah, but it doesn't even really matter if I don't, does it? Because you got the next crop all lined up and ready to go, you f***ing chicken hawk.
Excuse me?
You prey on people, Cam. You use them. I lost 3 years of my life for your f***ing phony cause, but I am on to you now, you f***ing snake.
As mentioned before, the censored is focused on the black and white section, because most of the problematics are still evident in this section. During these parts, Derek's hate and racism as part of the neo-Nazis is still very evident, increasing the scenes that show enclosed social problematics.
The government never officially or directly banned American History X. Instead, it was censored indirectly by the society and the publishing and producing companies. In the first place, the society itself rejected the movie because of its crudeness and the reality it showed. It doesn't mean that there has been any official policy that prohibited the film, but in its place, it was not well received by the regular viewer. Nevertheless, this topic of how the audience received the film is going to be explained in deep in moments. In the second place, the release cut was not the original cut of Tony Kaye, the director. Instead, it was released a more dramatic and less crude movie that gave more importance to Derek, the main character. In the third place, the different DVD publishing companies, such as New Line Cinema, cut out some scenes and parts of the movie. Some of these are the shower scene in which Derek is raped, the sexy scene between Derek and Stacy, and the garbage dump scene, among others.
The audience reaction is a crucial factor when it comes to analyzing the movie and its censorship. As mentioned before, the government never officially or directly banned it. However, it was rejected by the society and suppressed by the producing and publishing companies.
When it comes to the audience, it can be divided between the regular viewer and the critics. On one side, the movie was awarded and nominated to several prizes, and it was well received by the movie critics. On the other side, the occasional viewer rejected some parts of the movie because it showed a too crude reality about racism, homophobia, xenophobia, and neo-Nazism, among others. As placed in Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, we are living in a time when flowers are trying to live on flowers instead of growing on good rain and black loam. And the problem with this movie was that it showed the black loam of the society. Nowadays, people react very similar to what happened then. They will still censor the movie because we continue living in a society where many social and political problems are taboo. They still do not want to see a movie that makes them think, reflect, or analyze the society and its problems. Instead, they would prefer a film that makes them laugh or shows them the flowers growing on top of flowers. They still are not prepared to engage against these social problematics and make something about it.
Finally, it can be concluded that free thinking can not only be regarded as insurgency but as the first step for it. When censorship is established, free thinking is a way to go against the system and to fight with it. Also, without free thinking, insurgency would not be possible because no one would think differently. As seen with Guy Montag on Fahrenheit 451 or Winston Smith on 1984, the revolt began when they thought by themselves. If they had not had free thinking, they would not have gone rough against the establishment limits or the system. Moreover, this behavior influences its audiences by showing them things that the official history has not shown them. However, it might have two outcomes. In the first case, the audience believes the story told by the freethinker, or at least it awakens some curiosity about the topic, leading to more free thinking. In the second case, the audience does not pay attention and treats the source as being ridiculous and crazy, developing in a contrary effect than the intended one. When thought is a crime, no other freedom can long survive.